Yes, so I share the screen so that we will start offering the prayers. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. Om Jnana Timirandasya Jnana Anjana Salakaya. So I share the screen so that we will start offering the prayers. Om Namo Bhagavate Vasudevaya. ओम अज्ञानतिमिरान्धस्य ज्ञानाञ्जनशलाकया चक्षुरुन्मीलितं येन तस्मै श्रीगुरवे नमः। श्रीचैतन्यमनोभीष्टं स्थापितं येन भूतले स्वयं रूप कदा मह्यं ददाति स्वपदान्तिकं वन्देऽहं श्रीगुरु श्रीयुतपदकमलं श्रीगुरून् वैष्णवं च श्रीरूपं साग्रजातं सगण श्रीरघुनाथं तं सजीवं साद्वैतं सावधूतं परिजनसहितं कृष्ण चैतन्य देवं श्री राधा कृष्ण पदं सगण ललितां श्री विशाखान्वितं च हे कृष्ण करुणा सिंधु दीन बंधु जगत्पते गोपेश गोपिका कांत राधा कांत नमस्ते तप्त कांचन गौरांगी राधे वृंदावनेश्वरी वृषावानुसुत देवी प्रणमामि हरिप्रिये वाञ्छा कल्पतरुभ्यश्च कृपा सिन्धुभैव च पतितानां पावनेभ्यः वैष्णवेभ्यो नमो नमः। नमो विष्णुपादाय कृष्णप्रेष्ठाय भूतले श्रीमती भक्तिवेदांत स्वामिति नामिने नमस्ते सारस्वती देवे गौरवाणी प्रचारिणे निर्विशेष शून्यवादी पाश्चात्य देशतारिणे। जय श्री कृष्ण चैतन्य प्रभु नित्यानंद श्री अद्वैत गदाधर श्रीवासादि गौरभक्तवृंद। हरे कृष्णा 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 हरे 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 राम 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 हरे हरे. So thank you very much. Before we start, I will show you a beautiful verses that how important is studying of the here it is stated this beautiful verses that one who has not listened to the message about the prowess, marvelous act of personality of Godhead, has not sung or chanted loudly the worthy songs about the Lord, is to be considered to possess a ear holes like the holes of snake and a tongue like the tongue of frog. What does it mean? What is the meaning of snake holes? That means the whole idea of this verse is those who are not interested to hear and talk about this.
थोड़ी देर बाद में करेगा फोन हो बाय.
So here it is stated that those who are not interested to hear Bhagavad Gita, Bhagavatam, so for them, their ears are like snake holes. What is the meaning of snake holes? Just like snake holes in the field, nobody will go and put his hand and legs. It's empty, like, it's useless, like, it's empty. So similarly, those who are not hearing Krishna Katha, his ears like empty, useless, full of rubbish. Nobody like, because they know that this snake holes is very dangerous, full of rubbish. So therefore, those who are not hearing, their ears like holes of snakes and tongue like tongue of frog. Why tongue of frog? What is wrong in tongue of frog? Tongues, they croak. By croaking sound, they inviting unnecessarily death. They inviting snakes. Actually, snakes do not know where his croak is, where is the frog. But by hearing the croaking sound, snake comes and eat him. So simply, without talking about Krishna Katha, all other talks are useless. It's like a croaking of a frog, which is inviting death. Actually, it is a fact. It is stated in Bhagavatam, other verses like 2:3:17, that that every sunrise and sunset, Ayur Harati by Punsa Mudyam Astam Channeshu, both by rising, by setting the sun, decreases the duration of life of everyone, except one who utilizes the time by discussing the topics of the good personality of all good personality of God. So this discussion of Bhagavatam, Bhagavad Gita we are conducting is approved, appreciated by Bhagavatam. Bhagavatam say that this discussing of topics will not plunder, will not take away our life, duration of life. Rather, it prolonged our life to the extent of immortality. Even at the time of death, we can go back to God. So that is the importance of discussion of Hari Katha, Krishna Katha, Bhagavatam and Bhagavad Gita. How important. So we do not know, out of ignorance, we have no idea that we do not know actually this is the medicine. Particularly in this case, this is the medicine actually, hearing process. So we are discussing last session, Nārada Muni instruction to Vyāsadeva. So Nārada Muni, what happened? The Vyāsadeva was have compiled. Srila Vyāsadeva has compiled all the Vedic literatures from Veda, Vedanta, Puranas, Itihasa, Ramayana, not Ramayana, Mahabharata, and Bhagavad Gita. All the things has been compiled by the Srila Vyāsadeva. All Vedic literature, almost all. So, but he was very despondent. He was not satisfied after compiling so many things. He was not satisfied. Then Nārada Muni, his spiritual master, he came into his cottage. So he asked that, what is the cause of your despondency? Then Vyāsadeva said, I do not know, you are my spiritual master, you tell me. Then he pointed out, because you have, although you have compiled so many literature for the upliftment or elevation of the general mass, but you have not directly broadcast the message of Supreme Lord. Because where there is no direct, you have overly emphasized on 4 Purushartha. What is 4 Purushartha? Dharma, Artha, Kama, Moksha. Everybody engaged in some kind of little dharma rituals. What for? He will gain some artha. After artha getting, he will go for kama, means lost sense gratification. After kama, they will go for liberation. And nowadays, dharma is not there because everybody has got highly paid, so they do not care for any kind of dharma. Only artha, how to earn money without religiosity, and how to satisfy the senses unlimitedly, indiscriminately. That is called hedonistic society. In modern society, hedonistic, like Hiranyakasipu. Hiranya means gold. Kasipu means software. So they are after gold or money, day and night. Money, 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 sweeter than honey, brighter than sunshine. They are running after money for sense gratification. Yunam pramata kurute vikrama, id indriya pritya purnati. So Viswambhar also say that they are mad after money to satisfy the sense. Vikrama, they are not karma even, forbidden karma. So nowadays, completely dharma also not there. But nonetheless, all in Vedic literature, this 4th thing is overly emphasized. But the love of Godhead, the bhakti is not so much emphasized. Therefore, he told, you have not broadcasted the message of the Supreme Lord, the prowess of the Supreme Lord, the transcendental activities of the Supreme Lord. Therefore, you are not very happy. So there you should then compile something which has this transcendent, full of narration of the transcendental activities of the Supreme Lord. That is called Srimad Bhagavatam. That is Srimad Bhagavatam. Then how important this Srimad Bhagavatam is? And it is the last work of Srila Vyāsadeva. He has compiled the last work of Srimad Bhagavatam. Then how important this Srimad Bhagavatam? But we are neglecting this most important. Vaishnavanam Priya. Srimad Bhagavatam Amalam Puranam Vaishnavanam Priya. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said that Srimad Bhagavatam Pramaryam Amalam. He has certified that. It's Vaishnavanam Priyam. This Priya, Vaishnavas, those who are devotee, their dear is that, their dear books is this Srimad Bhagavatam. And you do not need any other. Kimba Pareir. There is no other literature should be read. Simply one literature is enough. The author himself is not happy or satisfied after compiling so many scriptures. How can the reader will be satisfied by reading other than any literature than Srimad Bhagavatam? It's a common sense actually. But we are so much attached to different literature. So in this way, Nārada Muni is explaining that any kind of books, any kind of message, any kind of statement which is bereft of the description of the wonderful qualities, forms, names, and activities, paraphernalia of the Supreme Lord is like a Vyāsam Tirtham. Is like a pilgrimage of crows, because crows are interested in filthy place. So these books are in any other literature. Nowadays, so many thousands of literature is coming out. Some mundane topics. Film, where, film, today, this, today, that, today. So many churning out. They are all called Vyāsam Tirtha, filthy, rubbish. They are called what is called rubbish chute. kind of thing. We are dumping all the rubbish thing, rubbish tube, trash can. They should not be touched. But anything which has got the description of the Supreme Lord, although it is composed not so rhetorically, so ornamentally, so metaphorically, so flowery. Not flowery is not a good word. Metaphorically, but ornamentally, so nicely composed with proper, proper paragraph and everything very proper. But still, it is accepted. It is heard. It is chanted by the sadhavas, the saintly person. On that note, Prabhupada also said that I have written, I am going to compile this Bhagavad Gita and Bhagavad Gita and Bhagavatam. On that basis, this may not be so scholarly, so much metaphorically, but it contains the narration or activities of the Supreme Lord. Therefore, it is accepted by saintly person. On that notes also, we are conducting class. Although we are not qualified, we are not fit. Whatever this nice things we are speaking, that belongs to the Gurujan, our spiritual master, and all the senior devotee. Whatever the wrong things we are speaking, that is due to our disqualification of presenting our Gurujan in a proper way, proper perspective, right way. That is our own flaw. But despite all the flaws, we are duty bound to execute the Bhagavatam Gita loudly, as Prabhupada say in that purport on that first verses, that loudly present the Bhagavad Gita and Bhagavatam. This is our duty. So these two things we have covered. Then Nārada Muni past life is coming. Before past life, 1 to 2, 3 verses also I have not covered in that year. So what is the 2, 3 verses? Very important verses. Yes, this is a very important verses. One of the verses is very important. So Nārada Muni told that Naiskramyam api achutya bhava varjitam na sovote jnanam alam niranjanam kuta puna saswat abhadram ishwarena charpitam karma. So anything which is bereft of devotional service of the Lord, which is devoid of conception of the God, this is completely useless. And we have left this very nice verses. Yes, where we are? We are in these verses. Tatya Sodharmam. We have covered this. Let us go through that. Then Nārada Muni continues to teaching the Vyāsadeva that Tatya Sodharmam Charanan Vade Hare. If somebody is somehow in a premature stage, when you are in neophyte stage, we may fall down due to our past action, past attachment, so much attached, we may fall down. But there is no loss. On the other hand, a person who is not Krishna consciousness, who is not interested in this Krishna consciousness business, even after he is successful in his endeavor to become Virat Kohli, Tendulkar, or Bill Gates, or Ambani, but what is the use of that? That is failure, because next birth he is not going to be Einstein. He is not going to be that rich. He has to get his own karma. But on the devotees, even though he is fall down, but still he is the winner. He is the winner, because the spiritual things, whatever we have done, whatever the service we are doing day to day, we are hearing, this is also spiritual account. That means we are adding some value. We are depositing some money, spiritual money. That is called spiritual asset. Spiritual asset to our spiritual bank balance, bank account. So we are adding something to spiritual bank account. That spiritual bank account that never become reset, unlike this material account. Material account, you may have a $1 million, but next birth you will start with $0. We have to earn from the beginning, scratch. Not that Dhirubhai Ambani, Steve Jobs, those who are died, the rich person, they will start with that big millions dollar in their bank. No, they will take birth with zero money, open no money at all. So they have to again work hard. But on the other hand, devotee will start from this there where he left. That was already have shown you the verses. So Krishna is saying in Bhagavad Gita, Arjuna is asking that if a devotee fall down, so what will happen? Will it be like nowhere? Because spiritually he could not complete, materially also he could not complete. In both the way he was failure. So in this regard, Krishna is speaking to the Arjuna, no, he is not a failure, Arjuna. Bhagavan Uvacha, the Supreme Personality of God, it's a son of Parth, a transcendental, it engage in auspicious activity, does not meet with destruction either in this world and in the spiritual world. Those who does good, my friend, is never overcome by evil. So they will never be overcome. So in this regard, Krishna is telling that the unsuccessful yogi, after many, many years of enjoyment on the planet of past living entity, is born into a family of righteous people or into a family of rich aristocracy. Then he's telling, after he's taking birth in this one, then what he does that, or if unsuccessful after long practice of yoga, he takes birth in a family of transcendentalists who are surely great in wisdom. Certainly such birth is very rare in this human life. Then his father is, Lord is speaking that on taking such a birth, he revives the divine consciousness of previous life. He again tried to make further progress. He never said progress from the zero, it's further progress. That means if he left in 10%, he will start with 11% in order to achieve complete success. O son of good, O son of good. He revives. Like this, he will be success, sure success. So there is no loss. But on the other hand, if you are doing so much you are in, material, you are so successful in material consciousness, what is the use of that? Material activities, material life. Like who told Jesus Christ say that what is the use of all this gain with the loss of your soul? What is the gain? What profited the man get with all this material gain, with the loss of spiritual soul? So what is the use of that, all the things? So much sophisticated arrangement, sophisticated things, so much security, so many bank balance, so much gorgeous arrangement. It's nothing, it's temporary, that's all. But this spirituality will permanent, and it will ultimately culminate to the point of make you immortal, make you go back to Godhead, make you to fulfill your real destination of human form of life, real purpose of human form of life. So that is the beauty of Krishna consciousness, beauty of bhakti. That is the idea is impressed. Nārada Muni is impressing on this Vyāsadeva, the idea of importance of bhakti. So further he is stating that very important verse. Tasaiva heta praeteta ko vita na labhyate yad brahmatam upariyada tallabhyate dukkhabada nyatta sukham kalena sarvatra gavira ramata. Then Nārada Muni further speaking that those who are very intelligent person, actually philosophically intelligent, should not endeavor only for the purposeful end which is not obtainable even by wandering from the topmost planet down to the lowest planet. As far as happiness derived from the sense enjoyment is concerned, it can be obtained automatically in course of time. Just in course of time, we obtain misery, even though we do not desire them. So everybody is endeavoring for kind of happiness. Everybody is endeavoring some kind of gain, some kind of happiness. This material life is mixed with happiness and distress. That is fine according to our karma. According to karma, everybody will have some set of things that nobody can take out. Whether you are working hard, you are not working hard, we will get it. Just like Ambani. Both Ambani brothers, they were actually equal money. They have been divided equal money. But the smaller Ambani, Anil Ambani, he became bankrupt after a few years. But his brother became one of the most richest men in the world. Why? Because all is fate, destined. According to his previous karma, he is getting all the things. The result of whatever a living entity does in this life, he are enjoyed in the next life. So according to one karma, one has been placed. So Bhagavatam says that this is the karma only. Karmena daiva netrena. Sri Bhagavan Uvacha, Krishna himself says, Kapil Dev, that karmana daiva netrana jantur dehopataya. The personality of God has said, under the supervision of Supreme Lord, according to the result of his work, the living entity, the soul is made to enter into womb of woman through the particle of male semen to assume a particular type of body. Even after body depends on our karma. Whether I have to take birth in Bill Gates family, Ambani family, Amitabh Bachchan family, a Tendulkar family, or a rickshaw puller family, or a poor family. It depends on that. Or a snake body, hog body, dog body, cat body, as per this karma. So we cannot change that this time. We cannot change our respect. We should not endeavor to change this thing. People are working hard to change their destiny. That cannot. We are destined. The result is destined according to. Therefore, here Prahlad Maharaj said that no need of all the things, because this thing is already set. Your destination is already locked according to your previous karma. According to your previous karma, your destination is locked. You are born poor. You are born you cannot change. Even after you get something, you have to lose also. You cannot keep that because you are not destined. According to karma, we are getting the result. And practically, we have seen also. In a family, 2 persons is there, twins, same time birth. But one is handicapped, one is handicappable. Why this discrepancy is there? The discrepancy is due to karma. Same family. Even one of our devotee, unfortunately, recently, Suchandra Prabhu is there. So he has a twins and one of the twins died. Why? Both astrologically same actually. But why one is suffering like this? Because of karma. So therefore, intelligent person should not endeavor to change his karmic result. No. He will not. The result is, you cannot change. Rather, he should change his karma, his activities. Instead of endeavoring for the changing his destination, fortune, fate, rather he change his karma itself, so that in next birth he is not going to be again entangled in material entanglement. Therefore, tasyevaheta praitita kovita. Praitita kovita means what is the purpose of human form of life? We should act like this. Not that I have to act to change my, improve my condition, material conditioning. Improve my, everybody trying to improve their material conditioning. Material conditioning is already, you cannot get more, 1 cent more, 1 cent less, whatever this time, that's all. Even after you do not work, you will get it. So you may say that, Prabhu, how it is possible? There's a story is there. Lord Shiva and Parvati. So Parvati told that I will make this guy very rich. Lord Shiva say that this verses, Nārada Muni verses. Nārada Muni verses. Lord Shiva said, no. If he is not destined to be rich, he cannot be. Okay. Then Parvati challenged on this proposition. So he gave a lot of gold, diamond inside a watermelon and give to the poor beggar. But poor beggar took it and he thought that what I will do with watermelon. He didn't open also. And another person beggar was going or something. He gave this one watermelon and take some little money. You take this one. And that beggar become rich. So here Lord Shiva is proving that it's not that even after you are getting so much things, getting so much opportunity, or you even get some riches also, you will be losing that. Many businessmen has become bankrupt. Many stars, many famous person become oblivion. Why? Because of this karma. Therefore, it is advised you should endeavor for the ultimate goal. What is this ultimate purpose? Athata Brahma Jigyasa. Inquiry about our self-interest. Who is God? What is my relationship? All the things. Nate Viddu Sartha Gatim Vishnu. To understand the God, understand Vishnu, understand Krishna. Otherwise, you are not going to. That is stated in this beautiful verse that Lord Shiva is speaking again. Again, the story of Lord Shiva coming again in the verse also Lord Shiva is speaking very nicely. Sorry, 124. Very nice verses, Lord Shiva speaking. So here Lord Shiva is speaking that, my dear Lord, all the living entity within this material world are mad after planning for things. Everybody is making plan. Everybody, every single living entity is planning. And they are always busy with desire to do this or do that. That is a fact. This is due to uncontrollable greed. Greediness is there. I want to enjoy. I want to be very safe. I want to be secure. The greed for material enjoyment is always existing in the living entity. But your Lord Shiva was always alert. In due course of time, you strike him just as a snake seizes a mouse very easily swallow him. That is the time factor. The time factor will seize all the things. Kalosmi, Krishna said in Bhagavad Gita, I am the time. Murtu sarva harasya chaham, I am the death. And I takes away all your assets, all your association, all your position, everything. Everything is taken away. So therefore, one should not endeavor for all the things. One should not endeavor for all the things to change, rather to endeavor for Bhātata Brahma Jiññāsa. That is very important. That is very important. Therefore, many places say a human being who is wise should never desire promotion to heavenly planet resident in hell. Indeed, human beings should also never desire permanent resident on the earth. For by such absorption in the material body, one becomes foolishly negligent of one's actual self-interest. Here also same thing. You should not do that to be happy in hell and heaven. Everywhere problem. Wise person knowing that although material body is subject to death, it can still award the perfection of one's life, should not foolishly neglect to take advantages of this opportunity before death arrives. Before death arrives, one should take advantage. One cannot. How much you try your things to make your things by adjusting this material conscious environment, trying to be happy, trying to be secure, trying to be safe, trying to be peaceful, all it cannot be done. It cannot. Dukkhalayam. You cannot make Sukhalayam. Manufacturer of the world certified this world as a Dukkhalayam. You cannot make Sukhalayam. So therefore, we should not neglect your main purpose before the death comes. Life is very, very short, very fast. Time flies like anything. You can see that how much 10 to 20 years fly like anything. 20 to 30, no, more faster. 30 to 40, like this in this way. Time, our age are catching up and we have, times are passing. So before the death comes, we do not know when it will come. You should endeavor for perfection. Otherwise, you should not think that I am still my death, still we have some times. No, time flies. You can see that 10 years back, just flash, it's like a flash, it passes like anything. Now we have reached now in this age. Just you go back to memory lane of 10 years back. And you can see that how the time passes so fast. In this way, we will also pass this present time. After 10 years, you will find that time passes. Then finally, you have no time for spiritual things. Then you have to again go back to square one, repeated birth and death. So this is the thing, very nice. These verses are, can be explained so many ways, like 2-hour classes, these verses. Very deep meaning, these verses. So then Nārada Muni is describing the input, further instructing this Vyāsadeva. My dear Vyasa, even though a devotee of Lord Krishna sometimes fall down somehow or another, he certainly does not undergo material existence like other fruitive workers. Because a person who has once released the taste of the lotus feet of the Lord cannot do anything, can do nothing but remember that ecstasy. This is a very important point. That ecstasy again and again. Devotee of the Lord automatically uninterested in all material existence, because rasa graha means the taste is there, taste of Krishna consciousness. Just like Rahu graha. Rahu graha means you are influenced by Rahu graha. Therefore, you have some bad things going on in your life. Sani graha grasta. They say Rahu grasta. Similarly, you are rasa graha. Rasa graha means the taste, rasa graha. Rasa means taste of Krishna consciousness, taste of bhakti. So even though you may fall down sometimes, but still you will not again come back to taste that one. You will not fall down like others, because we have tasted something which cannot be forgotten. Sometimes they fall down because of uncongenial, unfriendly association, but they are not prone to degradation like karmi. They will again come back. They will again come back. It is stated in these beautiful verses also. The verses in Bhagavatam. It is stated here that O Madhava, Supreme Personality of Godhead, Lord of Goddess of Fortune. If devotee completely in love with you, sometimes fall from the path of devotion. They do not fall like non-devotee, for you still protect them. Thus they fearless. traverse the heads of their opponent, continue to progress in devotional service. So why they do not, why they will not leave the test? Because Krishna is there. So Krishna acknowledges, Sarpam apyasya dharmasya trayate mahatavad. Somebody has done some services, Krishna remembers him. Krishna is merciful. So he will never forget. And he will bring back, somehow he will again bring back you to Krishna consciousness. So many instances in that, on these notes, I have given one classes in Bhagavad Gita in the temple, in classes, so many instances of this, that how little bit of devotional service many people have done in the past history, they have got the lotus feet of the Lord. They have got the lotus feet of the Lord. So this is the main thing, because we have no time to go through the entire year. So this is the thing, sir. So Krishna will never forget. Of course, Krishna says that in Bhagavad Gita also. Krishna says that api chetu durachara vajanti mam ananya manasa. A person who is engaged in service, sometimes he fall down, or sometimes he is acting very badly. Even one commits most abominable action, if he engages in devotional service, he is to be considered saintly, because he is properly situated in his determination. Why? Because Krishna helps him to bring back. Krishna help him. So therefore Krishna says, Khipram bhavati dharmatma swachas santim nigachanti konteya pratijani name bhaktya pranasati. Very important verses. Krishna, he quickly becomes righteous, attain lasting peace. O son of Kunti, declare it boldly that my devotee never perishes. That is the thing. Krishna holds back him. Krishna immediately takes care. Even though he is falling down, never mind, he has done something to me. So he remembers that. He remembers Gajendra. He remembers Ajamil. So many, I was giving classes, very elaborate explanation of Gajendra, Ajamil, because they have done some kind of service to him. So he remembers these people. So at the time of need, so he came and rescued them. So again, he is now speaking about the, yes, here it is stated that this Srila Vyāsadeva is very empowered. He is the incarnation of the Lord. He is not ordinary man. Although formally he accepted as a Nārada Muni, as Acharya, he is a spiritual master, but he actually does not need a spiritual master. Just like Krishna, he does not need a spiritual master. He accepted Sandipani Muni. Ramchandra Lord, he is supreme Lord, supremely intelligent, but he accepted Viswamitra as his spiritual master. Similarly, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu is supreme Lord, he accepted the Ishwarapuri as spiritual master. So Vyāsadeva, no need, he is a perfect, he is a literal incarnation of the Lord. It is stated that he is a literal incarnation. He is a perfect vision. He knows everything. Still, he comes as a role of Acharya to teach us that one has to accept the spiritual master. One has to accept a spiritual master. Therefore, he comes as an Acharya. Without spiritual master, spiritual life is not going to happen. Spiritual master is very, very indispensable. And how to get, who is my guru, how to find out guru, it depends on your sincerity. It's not that you have to find out the guru. If you are sincere, Krishna will arrange. Krishna will arrange. So it is here stated that the scripture named Srimad Bhagavatam is the literal incarnation of God, and it is compiled by Srila Vyāsadeva, incarnation of God. It is meant for ultimate good for the people. It is all successful, all peaceful, all perfect. It is everything so good about Bhagavatam. Nobody is hearing Bhagavatam. That is so much ironical. Still we are passing as a Vaishnava, devotees, etc. What is this? Completely, what is called cheating, self-defeating. Not cheating, is self-defeating. The cheating on. Nobody interested to hear Bhagavatam. Because Bhagavatam also hearing not by, everybody can hear. But to understand Bhagavatam, we need purification. So, ultimate good of people. That is why it is stated that he is a very perfect vision. Okay. So, sometimes the Krishna comes as a Acharya. Inside, he teaches us. There is a beautiful verse that it is stated that this kind of verses you will not get anywhere, even after you read Bhagavatam courses and anywhere outside also. Because this verses needs that overall understanding of the Bhagavatam. This kind of references. Oh my Lord, the transcendental poet expert in spiritual science could not fully express their indebtedness to you, even if they were endowed with prolonged lifetime of Brahma. For you, you are appear in two features, externally as the Acharya, internally as the support soul, to deliver the embodied living being by directing him how to come to you. So these acharyas are not different. Sometimes they come, Acharya, Krishna comes as Acharya to teach us. So here Vyāsadeva is Acharya. Other verses is there, Acharya Mam Vijaniyan. Krishna says, I am not different from Acharya. Anyway, so finally, final teaching is that idam me puspam tapasa sutyava suktascha buddhidataya vichittarutta kavive nirupana yaduttama sloka gunana varna. The learned circle have positively concluded that infallible purpose of advancement of knowledge, namely austerity, study of Vedas, sacrifice, chanting of hymn of charity, culminates in the transcendental description of the Lord who is identified in such words. These so beautiful verses. Whatever you have so much Vedic study, you have so much knowledge, so many things, all knowledge to engage in the service of the Lord, particularly to glorify his Hari Katha. Everything has to be culminated to the Hari Katha, description of Hari Katha. That is real thing. People do not know that everything has to culminate to Hari Katha, either by speaking or hearing. Otherwise, it is useless. Everything, all your knowledge, all your things, everything. It is stated that when people properly glorify the Supreme Personality of Godhead or simply hear about his power, the Lord personally enters their heart and cleanses away very trace of misfortune. So this is the benefit. So it has to be culminated to the point of Hari Katha. Otherwise, what is the use of that? There's beautiful verses in this regard also. 2:11. No, what is that verse? Hari Nam. So, yes, the verse is there, Kaputa Bhayam. Anyway, Akuta Bhayam means this is the best way to counteract the glorification of the Lord. Oh, this was maybe 2:1:11. Sorry, let me check. The beautiful verses in there. Yes. Etad nirbiddamalanam ichchatam akutava yoginam nirpaninnita hare namanu kirtanam. The beautiful verses. O King, constant chanting the holy name of the Lord after the wage of great authority, the doubtless fearless way of success for all, including those who are free from material desire, those who are desirous for all material enjoyment, those who are self-satisfied of a dint of transcendental knowledge. So glorifying the Lord is the final things. Everything culminates to point of Hari Katha. Uttama Sloka Gunanuvartana. Same thing. Uttama Sloka Gunanuvartana means to describe the transcendental description of the Lord. Here also it is said that Krishna, what is that called? Here it is also Uttama Sloka Gunanuvartana. And in these verses also it is stated here that Krishna Hare Namanu Kirtanam. Same thing. Namanu Kirtanam. His name, form, everything is same. Then we will go to the next one, Nārada Muni past life. So Nārada Muni past life, actually Nārada Muni now speaking about his past life. I will go through little more past and past life. Before even he is the maid servant, he was a Gandharva. It is stated in these beautiful verses that he was a Gandharva in the previous bar. How he became a Sudra. Then after Sudra he became Nārada Muni. So in these verses, it is stated here that how he was his name is Upabharana. Long ago in another Mahakalpa, millennium of Brahma's another Kalpa, I existed as a Gandharva known as Upabharana. I was very respected by other Gandharva. So he was a Gandharva in his previous birth. What happened? So I had a beautiful face and a pleasing, attractive bodily structure, decorated with flower garlands, sandalwood pulp. I was most pleasing to the women of my city. Thus, I was bewildered, always feeling lost to desire. So he was always very beautiful, handsome, and surrounded by all these, beautiful women. One, there was a Sankirtan festival to glorify the Supreme Lord in an assembly of the demigods. And the Gandharva and Apsara were invited by Prajapatis to take part in it. So there was a Sankirtan assembly, just like Sunday program. They have also Sunday program. Nārada Muni continued, being invited to the festival, I also joined and surrounded by the women. I began to musically singing the glories of demigods. Because of this, Prajapati, great demigod in charge of affairs of universe, forcefully cursed me with these words. Because you have committed an offense, may you immediately become Sudra, devoid of beauty. See? So I began to musically sing glories of the demigods. So this is Sankirtana movement. We should not glorify the demigods. They have two offenses. First of all, he neglected the glories of the thing. Second offense is that he came with all these women, lusty women, to the Sankirtan movement. Prabhupada is written in the purport. There are two purposes. He was caused to become Sudra, Nārada Muni. When Nārada Muni becomes Sudra, so here it is stated our story, the maid servant, Sudra, son of a maid servant. And when he was the servant of the maid servant during the Chaturmas means rainy season, so many devotees, where they travel and preach to others, they stay in one place. So the Bhakti Vedantists, they stayed in a place is nearer to his house. As a maid servant of the son, his mother used to serve this Vedantist, the devotees, pure devotees. And Nārada Muni got an opportunity to take part the remnant of the food, because when they take prasadam, they leave something, means the remnant of the food, we took permission and took. By this process, uchista lepananubita, once only by their permission I took the remnant of their food. By so doing, all my sins were at once eradicated. Thus being engaged, I become purified in the heart. At that time, very nature of transcendentalist became attractive. So how important the association of the devotee. In any way, who associate with devotees is so infectious. Simply by eating once the remnant of the prasadam food, Nārada Muni becomes Sudra to become Nārada Muni. Therefore, it is stated that three things are so important for a pure devotee. Pure devotee, three things are very important. What are the three things? There are beautiful verses in CC Antya, it is stated that. Bhakta Pada Jole 1660. It's a very beautiful verses. So it is said that Bhakta Pada Dhuli Ara Bhakta Pada Jol Bhakta Bhukta Abose Satine Mahabol. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, this Chaitanya Chaitamukta, it is quoted that dust of the feet of a devotee, the water that has washed the feet of a devotee, the remnant food left by a devotee are three very powerful substances, very, very powerful. Water that washed the feet of the devotee, the dust of the feet of the devotee, and the remnant of the food. Very, very powerful. It is stated here that Ei tine sarva seva hoite Krishna premo hoye punna punna sarva shastra pukoriya kahe. By rendering service to these three, one attains the supreme goal of ecstatic love for Krishna. In all revealed scripture, this is loudly declared again and again. See how important the three substances. And Nārada Muni is engaged or somehow and or contact with this one of the things that is called remnant of the food. Also, after that, he heard about him also. He had the instruction from the Vedantist. That is important. So many verses are there. Prahlad Maharaj also stated that unless my father is demon's father, he never said father to Hiranyakasipu. He tells that Asurya Bharya, a great demons or master of all demons, lord of all demons. So unless one is bathed with the dust of the lotus feet, one cannot arouse Krishna consciousness. One cannot arouse Krishna consciousness. Therefore, the devotee association is so important. We are neglecting that. Naisammati tavaturu mangrim spasasti anarthopagama yadarthat mayasam padaraja abhisekam. Unless they smear upon their body the dust of the lotus feet of Vaishnava, completely free from material contamination, person very much inclined toward materialist life cannot be attached to the lotus feet of the Lord. See, unless he is come in contact in three ways, he cannot become transcendentalist. He cannot become a devotee. Devotee means, if you want to become a devotee, you have to associate with the devotee. Otherwise, that is not possible. To become faithful to God, faithful servant of the God, we have to be associated with a faithful servant of God. So it is stated by Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, the same thing. Mahaprabhu says that to Sanatana Goswami, that, O king, this is also good verse, it is stated here. Same thing by Rogana. So here it is that unless human society accept the dust feet of lotus of great Mahatma, devotee who have nothing to do with material possession cannot turn into attention of the lotus feet of Krishna. Those lotus feet vanquish all unwanted, miserable condition of material life. This is not possible. This is not possible. So therefore, it is stated, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says that our root cause of our devotional service is devotee association. Root cause of devotional service to the Krishna, association with advanced devotee. Even when one's dormant love for Krishna awakens, association of devotee is still most essential. Association of devotee is every stage of our life. This association is very, very important. Because this is the root cause of our devotional service. Without association, therefore Nārada Muni has got the association, he became Nārada Muni. From Sudra to he became Nārada Muni. There are so many verses I have already written here. You can go through it because we have no time. Today it will go overshot it. So there's so many beautiful verses. Wonderful. All verses are very wonderful verses. All verses. One of them, let me show you from Bhagavatam. So how the association is working so nicely. My dear Uddhava, I am personally the ultimate shelter and way of life. That Krishna is speaking to Uddhava for a saintly liberated person. And thus, if one does not engage in my loving devotional service, which is made possible by associating with my devotee. Without associating, we cannot do bhakti. Then for all practical purposes, one possesses no effective means for escaping from material existence. All practical purposes, not possible, not possible. Association of devotee is very important. Therefore, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says that sadhu sangha, sarva shastra kahe, lava matra, means very, very moment association. Lava matra sadhu sangha, sarva siddhi hoy. The verdict of all revealed scripture is that by even a moment association with a pure devotee, one can attain all success. All success. Therefore, this association of devotee is very dullava. Dullava manusya deyam, deyinam khenamangura. Tatrapita dullabam manya vaikuntha priya darsanam. For conditioned soul, the human body is most difficult to achieve. It can be lost any moment. But I think even those who have achieved the human life rarely gain the association of pure devotee, who are dear to the Lord of Vaikuntha. See? Very rare association of pure devotee. Brahmanda konite kono bhagyamana jiva Guru Krishna karputpa pava bhakti lata bhavi. Brahmanda brahmite kono, we are from time memorial, we are fleeing from one planet to another, one womb of the mother to another, one body to another mother. We are transmigrating, transferring ourselves. But one is fortunate, he is come in contact with the devotee by mercy of Krishna. One is sincere, I want to go back. Krishna will arrange the Guru. Then by the association mercy of both Krishna and Guru, one will get the seed of devotional service, bhakti. And that time he started his journey. That means he is boarding in the perfect vehicles, perfect boat, who will go to the destination. Your boarding of the bus, your boarding vehicle is wrong. Supposing your destination is America, you are boarding a aeroplane which is going to India or going to Europe. In this way, you cannot stay there, Europe. Again, you are trying to come to different destination. In this way, you are flying. You are not reaching your supreme destination. As long as you are not reaching supreme destination, you cannot, you keep on moving, keep on moving. You cannot stay because no place is a permanent resident. You are all just like a tourist. A tourist is flying. Anywhere you fly, you cannot stay in that place because you have no permanent resident. You have to give up. Similarly, we are traveling from human body to demigod body to Brahma body to snake, cat, dog body. In that body, we cannot stay. Once our tourist visa expires, then we will come back to another places. We cannot stay in that. Unless we have got this visa to our destination, we cannot stop traveling. So whole idea to how to obtain a visa to Goloka Vrindavan, our real destination. Otherwise, we are like nomad. What is called nomad? Like we will roaming from one country like a tourist. We have no permanent place unless we come to our real home. Just like we go out from the somewhere for traveling. We cannot stay in the hotel for lifelong. We have to change unless we come back to our home. Similarly, unless we go back to Goloka Vrindavan or Vaikuntha, we cannot stay in any of these places, any of the body. Therefore, that is only possible when we will be, come in contact with devotees by mercy of Krishna. Brahmanda Brahmite Kono Bhagyavana Jiva Guru Krishna Prasade Pava Bhakti Lata. So according to their karma, all living entities are wandering throughout the entire universe. Some of them are being elevated to upper planetary system, some are going down to the lower planetary system. Out of many millions of wandering living entities, one who is very fortunate gets an opportunity to associate with bona-fide spiritual master. By the grace of Krishna, by the mercy of both Krishna and spiritual master, such a person receives the seed of the creeper of devotional service. So how important is devotee association? And therefore this Nārada Muni becomes Shudra to Nārada, simply by devotee association. Oh Vyāsadeva, in that association, by the mercy of those great Vaishnava Vedantists, I could hear the attractive activities of Lord Krishna. Thus listening attentively, my taste for hearing the personality of Godhead increased every step. See how important is hearing Nārada Muni telling that I become Nārada Muni, I took first prasadam, I took also hearing. Simply prasadam taking, hearing also important. How important the hearing is. Nobody is hearing Bhagavatam. Nobody, only 4 or 5 people are joining. And they are going, they have a plan to go back to Godhead. How to go back to Godhead? Become Nārada Muni. They want to become Nārada Muni, go back to Godhead, but without hearing Krishna Katha. This is stupid, you know. So this is the thing. Nārada Muni is teaching us how he became Nārada Muni. His practical experience. That is very important. We may hear, but somebody is teaching by practical experience means that is very authentic, very bona fide process. Because he is teaching that how I become an IIT pass out, how I become an IAS officer. Similarly, Nārada Muni telling how I become a Nārada, great exalted devotee of the Lord. He is teaching by example. We are not interested in hearing Krishna Katha. So many verses I have noted down, you can hear, you can refer it. So great says, as soon as I got the taste of personality of Godhead, by hearing only you will taste, you will get the taste. You are all conditioned, we are jaundice. We have got the jaundice, we are jaundice patient. So therefore we have to hear Krishna Katha. By hearing I become Nārada Muni, become a pure devotee. Just like by hearing process we will develop the love for Krishna. So Nārada Muni is telling here, the taste is not there. Just like a jaundice patient, he will not like to take the chocolate or sweet, but sweet is like bitter for him. But the recommendation of the doctor, even though it tastes like a bitter, but you take it because it is the medicine. As your disease proportionately cure, you will start tasting that bitter to again the original taste, sweet. Although you have no interest for Bhagavatam, Bhagavad Gita, but still you hear. By the process, you will purify, you will develop the taste step by step. That is teaching. Here it is telling that by step I got the taste. My attention to hear of the Lord was unflinching. See, my taste developed. I could realize that it was only in my ignorance I had accepted the gross subtle covering. For both the Lord and I are transcendental. See, this is the way we should learn Hearing, you become lightened and enlightened, both. Lightened and enlightened by Krishna. Nasta moho smutil labda tat prasadena maya chutya karisya vata stitosmi gata sandeya karisya vachana tava. Last verses 1873, Arjuna speaking that last verse of Arjuna. He is speaking that nasta moho smutil labda, the illusion. Illusion means what? Ignorance. Gone. Now I have got this consciousness, Krishna consciousness, by dint of the knowledge and by your mercy. This is the thing we should hear. See, during this 2 seasons, the rainy season and autumn, I had the opportunity to hear the great soul sages constantly chant the unadulterated glories of the Lord Hari. As the flow of my devotional service began, the covering of the modes of passion and ignorance. See, what he did, he here also he glorified. By hearing process, you develop the love. That is stated in Vyāsadeva himself, himself spoken in these verses. Vyāsadeva stated that Jassang bhai sriyamanayam Krishna parama purushe bhakti rutpadayate punsam soka moha bhayopaha. Simply by once giving oral reception to this Vedic literature, the feeling of loving devotional service to the Lord Krishna, the Supreme Personality of God, as sprouts up at once extinguishes the fire of lamentation, illusion and fearfulness. And that is important. That is important. So how? By hearing process, the love of Godhead will sprout up. And it extinguishes all the miseries of the misery also. Extinguishes all misery. Therefore, we should hear from the Krishna Katha only released by the hearing with association of devotee. Otherwise, you cannot release it also. It's very releasable. Satang prasangam mama virya samvida bhavanti itkanna rasayana katha tajasana dasu apavarga vartamani sadha datir bhaktir anukramishyati. In the association of pure devotee, the discussion of the pastime and activity of Supreme Lord, Supreme Personality of God, it is very pleasing and satisfying to the ear and the heart. By cultivating such knowledge, one gradually becomes advanced on the path of liberation, and thereafter is freed, and his attraction becomes fixed. Then real devotion and devotional service begin. That is the process. Hearing is the most important. Savanam, Kirtanam, Vishnu. First thing in devotional service is hearing. So we are conditioned stage. By hearing, we will be attached. I was very much attached to those says I was gentle in behavior. All my sins were eradicated in their service. In my heart, I had strong faith in them. I had subjugated the sense. I was strictly following with the body and mind. So this in this way, Nārada Muni is telling, by hearing, I was attached to the sages. Attachment to the sages means your liberation, path of liberation is already wide open. This is stated by the Viswambhar, that once you associate with the Mahatma, Mahat Seva Dwaram Ahur Vimukta Kamodvaram Jositam Sangi Sangam. One can attain the path of liberation from material bondage only by rendering service to the highly advanced personality, spiritual personality. This spiritual personality is impersonally devotee. Whether one wants to, so this is the thing. For those who are not interested in such activity, who associate with people fond of women and sex, the path to hell is wide open. The two way. If you associate with the people who are materialistic, then hell, gate of hell is open. But you associate with Mahatma, then path of liberation is open. Same thing. This association is same thing. You just transfer your association to devotees, then you will see how much you drastically you improve in Krishna consciousness. Then in this way, Nārada Muni is speaking about his practical story that so he was, by hearing, he was so much attached, and after that, while performing, so all his things has been that it is stated that all his activities with senses now has been directed to Krishna. He was always chanting, hearing about the Lord, he was doing all kind of devotional service to the Lord. In this way, he is so much attached to Krishna. So finally, Narada Muni is advising that those is actually sure who worship in the form of transcendental sound presentation, the Supreme Personality of God Vishnu, who has no material form. So Brahmana, thus by Supreme Lord Krishna, I was endowed first with transcendental knowledge of the Lord as inculcated in confidential part of the Veda, then with the spiritual opulence, and then with his intimate loving service. See how important it is. He is telling that first with transcendental knowledge. In Krishna consciousness, is most important is knowledge. Without knowledge, you cannot just jump Hare Krishna, it will not go, it will dry up. So first of all, is inculcated with this knowledge. After the knowledge, then all devotional service, engage in devotional service. Please therefore describe the Almighty Lord's activity which we have learned by your vast knowledge of the Vedas. For that will satisfy the hankering of great learned men, at the same time mitigate the misery of masses of common people who are always suffering from material pangs. Indeed, there is no other way to get out of such misery. So therefore, Nārada Muni, he told his practical experience that how by associating with this great Mahatma, great soul, and taking his remnant of the food, hearing from them, I gradually, step by step, I develop my taste for hearing, and I attach in devotional service always. In this way, I become Nārada Muni. And now, the same things you do it. Vyāsadeva, you have not described in all your literature. Now you describe this narration of the Lord activities so that people who are suffering from these miseries, like me in my previous birth, they will also get out from this misery and will get out some misery and will go back to Godhead. That is whole important. So Lord is hearing is so very, very important things. It is stated here that Nārada Muni also, Vyāsadeva also saying the same thing actually. Anartha upasamam sakhyat bhakti yogam adakyasa lokasya jnata vidyam chakre sattasta samhitam. Material misery of the living entity which are superfluous to him can be directly mitigated by the linking process of devotional service. But the mass of people do not know this. Therefore, learned Vyāsadeva compiled this Vedic literature, which is in the relation to the Supreme. Because he got the instruction, direct instruction for Nārada Muni. Nārada Muni teaching him my practical experience, how I am become Nārada, simply by associating with devotees, advanced devotee. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu was an advanced devotee. And by taking the remnant of the food, by hearing from them, I become attached to, I develop the taste for Lord, taste for bhakti, and I engage in bhakti, I become Nārada Muni. So you also do like same thing. Therefore, the Bhagavatam is spoken for what purpose? For the purpose of mitigating all this misery which is superfluous, which is not real actually. Why not real? Because we are unnecessarily out of ignorance, we are accepting this body as a soul. This body is the soul. I am the body, and whatever the bodily relationship, this is my activity, this is my aim of life. Therefore, telling this by hearing process, we can purify. So this is the advice of the Nārada Muni to Srila Vyāsadeva. So before that, I will go to the one verses of nectar of instruction. So Rupa Goswami also given the advice that holy name, character, pastime, and activity of the Krishna all are transcendently sweet like a sugar candy. Although tongue of one afflicted by the jaundice avidya cannot taste anything sweet. It is wonderful that simply by carefully chanting this sweetness every day, natural release awakens with his tongue. His disease is gradually destroyed at the root. Same thing. Actually, same thing the Nārada Muni say that step by step when I'm hearing, I develop the taste. I had no taste, but simply by hearing from the Vedantists, from the devotees, and now I develop the taste. By developing the taste, all this disease destroyed at the root, that material disease. Material disease means aham mameti, I, mine, everything. I am the body. My mind means my family, my children, my community, my society, entangled in this way. My activities all are around our family, around me, myself, and around my family. Destroyed at the root. Therefore, Chaitanya Mahaprabhu says that, this is the last verse, I will wind up with this one, the beautiful verses Chaitanya Mahaprabhu spoke to Sanatana Goswami. Chaitanya Mahaprabhu said that Nitya Siddha Krishna Prema Sadhya Kabuman. Nitya Siddha Krishna Prema Sadhya Kabunaya Sarvanadi Shuddha Chitte Karya Aika. Pure love for Krishna is eternally established in the heart of living entity. Just like a magnet and iron. Iron is naturally should be attracted to the magnet. We are part and parcel of the Lord. Mamayansa Jiva Loke Jiva Bhutta Sanatana. Therefore, we are naturally attracted to Krishna. But why we are not naturally attracted? Because just like iron is rusted. When it is rusted, it will not be attracted by the magnet. So we are rusted. We are rusted by contamination, rusted by ignorance, rusted by the dirty things, all of material dirty things. Therefore, we are not attracted to Krishna. But how can we again attracted just like an iron? If you clean it, all the what we say stains, all the dirty thing in the iron, if it is all the rust, if it is cleansed properly, then again the iron will be attracted to the magnet. Similarly, when we will be cleansed of all this contamination, then we will be naturally attracted to Krishna. And how it is possible? The cleansing process is Krishna consciousness. It is not something to be gained for another. When the heart is purified by hearing and chanting, this love naturally awakens. This cleansing process called hearing and chanting. That is called Sravanam Kirtanam Vishnu. That is the process. That is the medicine. The process of cleansing, this Krishna consciousness means hearing and chanting about Krishna. That is Krishna consciousness. In this way, we naturally awakens the love, just like Nārada Muni did it. So Nārada Muni teaching with the example that I did it and I become Nārada. You can do it. So you write something, Vyāsadeva, so that people will adopt this process and they will also get benefit. So thank you very much. With these notes, I will stop this. But I have made these notes already. I will send so many references there. You can go through this. So next week we will continue. This instruction is continue again also. Some of the more instruction has been given in the 6th chapter. Then we will come to the other chapters and slowly. So if you have any questions, anything, please ask. If anything, any doubt. Yes.
Hare Krishna, Prabhu. Prabhu, 1539. 39th verse, can you open? 1539.
Yes.
The translation, go to translation, Prabhu.
Brahmana, by Supreme Lord Krishna, I was endowed with vast transcendental knowledge of the Lord as inculcated in the confidential part of the Veda. Then with the spiritual opulence, then with the intimate loving service. Yes. Yes.
And this, there is a, just a minute, I think, just a minute. In that purport, I think there is a material conceptions as 10 numbers. It's mentioned there, material conceptions as 10 number. 1539. Imam Swanigamam Brahman Vetyam Adunasthitam.
Yes. By such, here it says that.
Yeah, numbering 10.
Perfect method for approaching the Lord. By such pure contact with the Lord without offense of material conception. And
numbering 10.
This is the 10th offense, na?
No, material conceptions numbering 10.
Yeah.
So without offense of material conceptions, numbering 10.
Yeah. So it is that communion with the Lord by the transmission of the transcendental sound is non-different from the whole Spirit Lord Krishna. It is a completely perfect for approaching Lord by such pure contact. Numbering 10, what is the 10 offenses?
Material.
Chanting 10 offenses, Prabhu?
No, only the 10th one.
10th one is that keeping that after hearing the importance of chanting, the material attachment, maintaining material attachments.
Despite the chanting of the Holy Name, still we are maintaining the material attachment. So here it says that the same thing. Lord is telling that By such pure contact with the Lord without offense, material concern, the devotee can rise above the material plane to understand the inner meaning of Vedic literature, including Lord existence and the transcendental realm. So that means all this attachment we go above this attachment, material attachment. So this is the process by hearing process. First knowledge, first of all, knowledge. After knowledge, first with transcendental knowledge by hearing. We cannot get by transcendental without hearing. So transcendental knowledge. Once you know the transcendental knowledge, then all the offenses will be automatically, particularly 10 offenses. Many people are chanting, but still they have this anartha is still there. Because they have no purport transcendental knowledge, they do not understand, they do not hear. Therefore, they are in a very neophyte state. And inculcated in a confidential part of it, then with the spiritual opulences, when with his intimate, and then with his intimate loving service. So this is the thing that we have to be here and we have to gain the confidence and knowledge. In this way, all these offenses, all the material attachment will be vanquished. Therefore, in the next verses,
Yes, Prabhu. I was thinking that 5 gross, 5 material elements and 5 tanmatras, 10 material conceptions. So I was thinking in that direction.
No, it's the concept of offense. Nice saying offense of material conception. There is offense. Offensive, without offensive material conception, numbering 10.
Prabhu, I have one suggestion, request actually, very humble request. Your level is far above than us. You are finishing one day one chapter of Bhagavad Gita, one day one chapter. It's a vast knowledge, Prabhu. So what I suggest that, because I think many of us will be same level. So if you take 2-3 classes for one chapter, we are not in hurry. We want your association and hearing the nectar slowly, and so that we can digest also, we can read also slowly. So that's my suggestion only, Prabhu, because
why this is because the Bhagavatam, it will take time if we go through this very, of course, we will go through the 2-3 sessions instead of one session.
Yes, Prabhu.
But they think that because of this vastness, first of all, the vastness of these things, and also we are living in a very distracted world. So
Yes.
a small thing will distract us. So we have no time for focus and attention. People have lost the appetite for reading, hearing for a long time. Therefore, I want to make it more shorter in terms of presenting them thematically in presentation of time. See, after 2-3 hours, nobody will, after 1 hour, therefore Prabhupada's classes are very, very short, 45 minutes maximum. And in that, he has to give this essence. Because people have no time for to go through this so scrutinizingly. Simply, you know the essence of this. Supposing 5th chapter, the essence is their bhakti. So he's presenting how important the association of devotee, how I become the Nārada Muni, how the transcendental knowledge, the transcendental narration of the Lord should be broadcasted. Because by the process of transcendental knowledge, if somebody here, he will gain this confidence and knowledge with the best secret part of the Vedas. Then in this way, he can be vanquish all his misery, he will develop the taste and attachment for the Lord. In this way, he become also pure, like I did also. His birth was speaking about his birth. So, if this is a very short summary of this day. Without summary of the Bhagavatam, now if we go through each verses, each things little more elaborately. First of all, no time, no focus, no way. Therefore, people will not be. Of course, very few. Therefore, few people is coming. Even the one classes also very few people attending. Why? Because they have no taste. As I showed you in NOI 7, these verses, because people have no taste for that, journalist person. But advice is to hear. So if we go through also like 2-3 sessions, we elaborately, nobody will hear, he will get bored after that, because it's a vastness. So thematically, but
there will be 5 at least will hear. I'm sure others will agree with me. At least one session can be divided 2 sessions at least.
Yeah, we will see the 2 sessions. Okay, you will do the 2 sessions, then 2 sessions like you will do actually. So, but Bhagavad Gita, I will keep it because Bhagavad Gita is easy to understand. So you can go through it. Like Bhagavad Gita can be spoken even one class to whole 18th chapter. One day I will summarize this at the end of the 18th chapter, after 18th chapter. So Bhagavatam is little complex is there. So Bhagavatam will divide it into 2 sessions for each chapter. Okay, yes. So that it is easy to understand. Of course, this chapter also we divided into 2 chapters, like first 2 themes and second 2 themes.
Yes.
So, but people have no time because you go through then each verses is so much vast, you will forget whatever I read it. So in a very thematical, therefore Prabhupada says that we don't have time. We keep only these 2-3 books and learn it. We don't have time to read for all the literature so scrutinizingly. We have no time actually. In Kali Yuga, we are not living so much great duration of life. Therefore, as much as thematically we learn and the essence we pick up, that is important. So anyway, we will try to do this with the two classes. 2 classes we will do in the next year. So in this way, we will go through henceforward in 2 sessions for each chapter.
Thank
Okay.
you, Prabhu. One more
Anyway,
question.
yeah.
One more question, Prabhu. This not from this topic. The
Yeah.
3rd chapter, actually, when we were expansions of Lord, we were hearing. So in that, Virata Rupa was described of Karna, the Galbhudakshay Vishnu. So Pinda, that
Yeah.
he's also like his Virat Rupa is the body of the Lord, and soul is the Lord himself. Like so,
Super
same
soul.
the Galbhudakshay Vishnu body, the Pinda, and
Yeah.
the whole body where the material thing, Virata Rupa, Vishwa Rupa, and soul is like a Lord himself. So is
Yeah.
it difference? Is there any difference between this Virata Rupa and the 11th chapter Virata Rupa, Vishwa Rupa, Kala Rupa? What in
The
11th
same way,
chapter?
Virata Rupa and Vishwa Rupa is a kind of, Prabhupada says that is a kind of like all is better. It's not like incarnation. The Virata Rupa universal form is not an incarnation. It is a things which Lord said that is a pervading attributes of the Lord. That all pervading, everything belongs to me, everything inside me. It's not just like an incarnation I am taking. Everything is everything there. So everything in this inside, yes. So this universally, whatever the things you see, that is my creation. Everything sprout of my from the creation. So Prabhupada specifically, so it's not an incarnation. Devotee do not much focus on the universal form. They focus on more transcendental form of the Lord. This is a creation. Yeah.
That Lord Krishna was his body was Sachidananda Swarupa.
Yes.
So Krishna was Arjuna was seeing Krishna's transcendental form as a as a friend, as a thing, but his form was Sachidananda Rupa. But
Yes.
why he had to give divine eyes to Arjuna for one level down? Actually, this Virata Rupa is material. If it is material form, why he had to give divine eyes to see that material form of which is not even incarnation of Lord?
Yes, because
So-
this divine form, yes, because our material eyes has a limitation. But this divine for the universal form of the Lord is full vastness. So we cannot see that vastness of the Lord with our blunt eye. As far as Krishna's supreme form is there, which is Krishna's form, that is by Krishna's mercy, Krishna's mercy, he is presenting, manifesting before the Arjuna. Manifesting. That everybody cannot know, because Krishna said that in 9:11 that fools deride me when I came as a human form of life. Nobody will understood that. Naham sarvasya prakasa. I am not exhibited to manifest it to everyone. Fools and all, they do not know me. So by mercy of Arjuna, he understood that. Also human form of life, but he understood is the Supreme Lord's beautiful original form actually. But nobody knows that. Only few devotees like Pandavas, they know that Krishna, this is the original form of the Krishna. Others, they do not know that. So therefore, Krishna, out of his causeless mercy, he came as a human form of life. This is very inconceivable. The Krishna says that inconceivable. My form is inconceivable. Although he come as like a human form body like this and contemporary, but it is a transcendental human form. Others do not have the access, although they see everybody, but they do not realize this form. But whereas Arjuna, he realized, the devotee, he understood that. But still, for the sake of the others, he wanted to show that, because he is claiming many people are deriding Krishna as a Manusim Tanvasritam. And so he is there deriding that Krishna is an ordinary human. But in order to establish his not ordinary universe, everything belongs to him. Aham sarvasya prabhava, whatever he spoke in the 10th chapter. Arjuna wanted to prove that in practice. Therefore, he showed this universal form. Please show me universal form. Actually, you are telling all these opulences are mine. Everything is mine. This thing mine, mine, mine. Show me your mind. Show me your opulences. He's showing opulences that everything belongs to me. Everything inside me. And you cannot see because it's so much vast. Although it is not the original, I mean, it's not an incarnation, but it's a vastness. So Arjuna is to divine eyes, show this one. For normal eyes, Krishna is coming as a human form. Now he's showing even Duryodhana is seeing the form of Krishna. It's not, that does not mean that Lord has diminished, his supremacy is diminished because somebody is able to see. Because he's Naham Sarvasya Prakasa. Although I am manifested, but nobody knew me as a Krishna, as a Supreme Lord. Arjuna, by dint of devotional service, he came to me. Otherwise, his form is, although he came as his original form, nobody understood it. Okay. Therefore, he himself said, fools deride me, That does not put the universal form in the precedence or in the better than his original form, See, Krishna say in this verse that when I am Manushim, looks like it's ordinary, but it is transcendental. Avajananti mama buddha manushim tanu asritam. Param Brahma ajananta mama mutta maheshwara. Who deride me when I descend in the human form of life. So he came as a human form. They do not know my transcendental nature as the Supreme Lord, all that be. That was he is showing to Arjuna. He is showing this Arjuna. Now Arjuna wanted also that one, because you speaking that everything is my nature, everything belongs to me, aham sarvasya prabhava, mata sarva bhavatate. So you showed me that actually everything belongs to you or not. So he's showing that this is my universal form. Everything belongs to me.
But Sanjay was
like President is showing that, CEO is showing so many company I have, but I am that personality. So many company I have, his material asset, all the things.
Yeah, even Sanjaya saw that with the divine.
Yeah, Sanjay saw that. Sanjay saw that in the last 18th chapter, last few verses. Sanjay is saying, "I am so fortunate I can see this beautiful universal form of the Lord."
And saw that he told it to Dhritarashtra also, but it was no effect on Dhritarashtra.
No effect on that Dhritarashtra, because Sanjay was devotee. Initially, he is also supporting Krishna. He never said that Duryodhana, Yudhishthira, they never spoke about Krishna, but he himself spoke wherever Krishna, wherever Arjuna. In the beginning also say Panchajanyam Husikesa. Before 1 verses 114, he showed that Krishna is there. Wherever Krishna is there, there is a victory. So because of a devotee, he is able to see all this. So anybody cannot. Krishna says, I am reserved the right to show that my transcendental opulences, transcendental nature. And normally I can, this form is, although I manifest as human form, many people do not recognize the Prabhupada says that. So many, even an ordinary soldier also, he saw the Krishna. But he could not understand, realize it, that he is the Supreme Lord. Therefore, Krishna is saying, fools deride me. They do not know me. They think, oh, Krishna, just like that. Oh, many people are criticizing how Krishna is playing Gopis Lila, how Krishna is stealing this cloth of the Gopis. Why? Because they do not know his transcendental opulences. Therefore, they are speaking like this. They are thinking Krishna may be ordinary, maybe a little better than ordinary. That's all. But they do not know Supreme Lord. Therefore, they even up to now also they criticize. So this is the thing. So that does not mean that this transcendental form, Samsundara form is precedence, is relegated to background. No, it's very good. But Krishna said, Naham Sarvasya Prakasa, Jogo Maya Samarbhita. I am not manifested to fools and all. Although they see, they think that I am a human form. They do not know my transcendental thing. So how Krishna is bewildering everyone.
But Bhishma as a Mahajan, he was knowing Lord as Lord.
Of course, he is a devotee, Mahajan. He knows of the, but he was because of this account, because financial support has been taken care by this Nārada, Dhritarashtra and company. Therefore, he has to obliged to fight on behalf of them. That's why he has to be killed, He has to be killed because financially they are supporting him. Otherwise, he knows that Krishna is the Supreme Lord. He knows that Pandava is right. He knows that Pandava also going to win. Everything he knows. But this is financial obligation. Same for Drona also, financial obligation. Financial support is there. Now here there is no financial support because there is no kingdom for Pandavas. Therefore, they have to be give up their life,
Yes, Prabhu. Thank you, Prabhu. Hare Krishna.
Hare Krishna. Thank you very much for attending. We will continue with the next chapter. We will do for the 2 sessions. Okay. Thank you so much. Hare Krishna. Ganthara Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai. All Gosha Prabhupada. All Gosha.